Hey everyone, I'm Ramon. Welcome back to part 5 of Fingerstyle Fundamentals. One of the most beautiful parts about playing fingerstyle is how we can make it sound like there are multiple instruments coming from just one guitar. It's always really gratifying to finish a performance and have someone tell you that when they close their eyes, they could hear an entire band in front of them. This is one of the major advantages of building up fingerstyle chops, even if you're primarily a pick player. That being said, because we have the ability to control multiple voices at once, we need to build up our vertical dexterity so that our fretting hand can make the necessary stretches to hold a chord or play a bass line while we're also playing the melody. While last week's lesson focused around controlling and synchronizing our fretting and plucking hand, today we're going to be focusing solely on our fretting hand and building up our finger independence. Before we begin, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been helping this channel grow. If you want to support my teaching and fun guitar arrangements, please consider liking and subscribing. With that out of the way, let's jump into it. The first exercise we're going to go over is going to be single finger independence drills. So to start off with, let's find the 5th position on the G string. So we're finding the 5th fret, placing our first finger on that fret, and then lining up the rest of our fingers on the subsequent frets, still on the G string. With our fingers resting here, we're only going to move one finger at a time. So we're going to start with the first finger, and let's bring it to the A string. Once we have it on the A string, what we want to do is pluck, unplucking with P, and then we're going to hop, we're going to lift our finger, and bring it all the way to the B string. And pluck here. You can pluck here with M, I, whatever you find comfortable. Just go between thumb and the other fingers. And we're going to keep going back and forth. It's really important that when training this motion to go slow. We want to make sure that we're not rushing too much and then having to make a correction, because then we're training our muscle memory to make that correction. Go slow. Hover over the note, wait until you know you've got it, press down, and play it. To increase the difficulty, we can go to our low E, and then all the way to our high E. This is pretty difficult in the beginning though, so if you're new to this, just stay between the A and B strings here while you build up the dexterity. From here, we move on, and we just do the same thing with the other fingers. This is where it starts to get a bit tricky. So you'll notice here, my other fingers are resting nice and calmly on the G string. Yours might not be like this in the beginning. They're going to want to lift. Do your best to keep them down. You can grip if you need to, but if your fingers do fly off, say we're playing on the A string, and you're lifting to go to the B string, and these fingers fly off, simply just take a moment, wait before fretting the B string, place your fingers back down again, find that fret, pluck, and continue. Same thing, increase the difficulty by going to low E and high E. And move on. You might find that you need to spend some extra time on your inner fingers here. This is totally acceptable. Your first finger will probably get this a lot sooner than the other fingers, so spend most of your time focusing here. As you continue to play these, think about our lesson from Fingerstyle Fundamentals 4. So our hopping exercise, we were primarily controlling the sound from our fretting hand, right? So when you play these, make sure that you're not flying off, you're getting that second pull-off note. Try and control the sound from that fretting hand. Get a nice, good sound from each note. Lastly, will be the pinky, 4th finger. This one might feel a little bit weird, especially if you still have stiff pinkies. Check out the last video and do the 2-finger walking exercise. This will help loosen up that pinky a little bit. But anyway, even after going through that a bit, you might still find your pinky to be stiff. So when you're playing with a 4th finger and you're hopping between the A and the B string, it's okay to move your elbow a little bit. I'm accentuating this movement a little bit with my elbow, but it can really help, especially when you're going to that high E string. Eventually, you'll be able to do this nice and calm, coming only from your fingertips. And that's exercise 1. Stick with this one for a while before moving to the next one, but I do want to show the next progression for those of you that really take this to heart. This one is 2-finger walking independence. So we're going to start in the exact same position with the exact same starting finger. However, we're going to pluck the 5th fret here on the A string, and then we're going to bring our 2nd finger to the 6th fret. So we're going fingers 1 and 2. After finger 2 comes down, reach and bring the 1st finger to the B string. After you've played that note, then reach and bring the 2nd finger to the B string. And we're going to be walking back and forth between these two. Same as last time, increase the difficulty by going to low E and high E. Again, this is very tough, so as you go through this, just take it slow. If your fingers fly off, correct your fingers first, bring them back to the G string, get them in resting position, and then continue with the rest of the exercise. Anyway, so continue through all the finger pairs, similar to our finger walking. We did fingers 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and now we'll be getting into our finger stretches. Ooh, that one's really tough. Anyway, so next set is going to be fingers 2 and 4. So you bring finger 2 to the A string, walk finger 4, bring finger 2 to the B string, walk finger 4. Take them slow. Make sure we're focusing on accuracy here. On some of these stretches, even I need to move my elbow a little bit to help with that leverage. From here, we'll go to fingers 1 and 4. Again, stretching. Once you finally made it through all that, we can end on 1 and 3. Also, for the stretch positions, feel free to take them in a different order. If you want to start with 1 and 3, then go to 1, 4, 2, 4. I'm fine with that too. I just think that my pinky needs some extra work, so I want to put it through a big endurance workout when I do these. Anyway, finger 1, then 3, continue to the next string. Also similar to our finger walking, think about playing each note as long as possible. Imagine we're playing some really disjointed melody line here. We want it to sound all connected, even if it's hopping around all over the place. Imagine trying to sing this. And those are the drills. I recommend doing these in conjunction with your finger hopping or walking techniques. This allows us to have a horizontal movement and also vertical movement drill in our technique sessions. Aim to do each drill in intervals of 1 to 5 minutes, tailoring this based off of your own saturation point. If you're ambitious and you like going through technique, throw in multiple instances of 1 to 5 minute intervals. As with the other videos, it's important to practice rhythmically. However, with technically demanding exercises such as this, it's okay to practice it in free time in the beginning. Just try to put it to a metronome as soon as you can. If playing at 60 BPM, playing one note every 2 to 4 beats is a good place to start. As you progress to playing one note per beat, increase the difficulty by moving this down a position. So 4th position, 3rd position, 2nd, then finally 1st position, or you can just increase the tempo. And that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I'll try and get back to them as soon as possible. I hope you have a great day. Bye!